We found 146,000 kids so far. 146,000 kids. We still have nearly 300,000 missing. We're investigating reports to where some of these kids claim that they were raped 600 to 700 times. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you have kids, if you don't have kids. I don't care if you're a liberal, you're independent, you're a Democrat, you're a Republican. If you can't stand for law enforcement to go find these kids, who are you?
So for years, open border policies threatened the security of our nation and put countless lives at risk. Under President Trump's leadership, the Department of Justice is working alongside HHS.
Okay, Acting U.S. Attorney General Todd Blanche, DHS Secretary Mark Mullen, they found 146,000 missing migrant children. That's a lot of kids that the Biden HHS lost track of. Xavier Becerra was running HHS. He's now running to be governor of California. They also found more than 15,000 adult sponsors who took in way too many migrant children. They could face prosecution. This is the Biden border, open borders. Secretary RFK Jr. is blasting New York Times reporter Cheryl Gay Stolberg for a biased and inaccurate piece he says, based on anonymous sources, didn't cover the success of finding the children. Let's welcome Fox News contributor Miranda Devine. What do you make of this?
Well, I think that Bobby Kennedy Jr. is absolutely spot on. That was a pretty comprehensive demolition job of the New York Times, but he also sideswiped his predecessor, Xavier Becerra, the former Biden HHS Secretary, who, as he said, barely showed up at work. He lived in California. His department was in D.C. I had something to do with Becerra, his department, because when the New York Post discovered that there were these plane loads of illegal migrants being chartered and flown in to Westchester Airport near New York, just outside of the city, in the middle of the night, I went up there with a photographer night after night and watched these supposedly unaccompanied children get off the planes. Now, I have to tell you, they were mostly, from the ones that I saw, they looked to be adult males, military-aged males. But we were told no. We were referred to Xavier Becerra's HHS and told they were children. All right, take them at their word. But those children, if they were children, we then followed the buses as they were being handed over to sponsors on the highway at various truck stops. And we saw that there was no vetting of these so-called sponsors. These people would just drive up and take one of these illegal aliens into their car. No one would check their license plate, check their ID. So those people disappeared. I think that they were just used as slaves. They were trafficked, whether sex slaves or just as cheap labor.
It's shocking. That's what Joe Biden's administration did, opening the borders. Thank you, Miranda Devine. We appreciate you so much in your reporting. Liz. It's good to see you. Now watch this.